G'day folks, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3. Hope you guys are doing well. We're inside Worm's Rock this time around, and I'm glad that we're here actually, because if I hadn't sort of thought about, you know, checking this area out one more time, I feel like we would have missed a whole bunch. It feels like a very big, or relatively big area, full of different rooms, and I assume there are going to be various trials that we need to get through. There seems to be a journal over here, which we're definitely going to be taking a look at, but I'm just going to do a little bit of looting first. I don't really know if there's actually anything that we can actually get from any of these shades and the like, but definitely want to just retrieve our halberd there. And are we convinced to use the dancing breeze? I'm not sure. It definitely felt like we weren't dealing as much damage, but
Making me sweat.
I think I'll just continue to use it for a little bit more. And perhaps maybe we can still make use of the whirlwind attack. Speaking of the whirlwind attack, we do need to take ourselves perhaps a short rest. Everyone, or at least Blue, is very injured and definitely needs a little bit more help.
No one's stopping yet.
What am I to do?
Alternatively, I could maybe do a mass healing, or sorry, mass cure wounds, but I think we should reserve that until we actually have a need from everyone else to heal as well. Yeah, it doesn't look like we are getting much of a reward from this fight. So perhaps maybe the reward will come later if we manage to complete all of the trials. Is there any reason for us to be breaking any of this stuff? It is sturdy, so I guess it's going to take us a while to break through if we do try to break these things. Only a hit that deals at least 10 damage can damage it.
Don't burn yourself.
So would we get any resources from this though? Okay. Yeah, I guess there's not really anything that we would get from this. Crystal skin. What does that mean? It is a buff of some kind. Resistance to all elemental damage. Man, I wish I knew that sooner, although would it be a good idea to spend our actions trying to break these things? I mean, you do get the buff for a couple of turns, right? So perhaps maybe it could be beneficial. Negate a lot of that incoming damage. Anyway, let's just chuck that in there first, because we did have to let go of one of our weapons there. And I wonder if it's a good idea to keep this in the offhand. I feel like no, it should really be our primary. Yeah. So let's do that short rest. And that should recover Will's ability to cast level 5 spells.
Never a dull moment.
And I suppose we should go back, although there is this journal, as I said, so let's have a read of that first. Can I not just read it from here? I guess not.
That'd be useful.
Let's take a look at it. Journal of Past Adventures. Number 4. A lanceboard trial. A bloody lanceboard trial. And the ground shakes, crystals fall, and I can hear the rustling of metal against rust. If this is the end, let this be my record. Then we must run. So, the trial that we just went through pretty challenging, but it wasn't too bad. And I suppose maybe all of the trials will require us to just simply survive for a certain amount of time. Yeah, this is all lit up now. Perhaps maybe we continue down this way. Let's do a quick save. And did I not get Scratch back with me? I don't know if I should, because he'll probably just die. Maybe I can wait until after the entire trial. And do I want to heal up a little bit more? I could perhaps do... I mean, aid heals everyone, and it's only for 5 HP. Maybe I could just do cure wounds. That's a level 1, which brings us down a little bit in terms of spell slots.
Looking ahead.
But yeah, I think that looks good. Let's
If not over,
press on.
and through.
Oh, what do we have here? Perhaps maybe it's not all combat then, these challenges. I am horrible at chess, guys, if they're asking us to play chess.
Is that blood? No.
Suppose we need to break through all of
Damn,
these
it's good to be
first.
alive.
Let's get Karlak
Transport, is
onto
it?
this.
Never had the patience.
Yeah, lance board. So it's not exactly chess, although it looks very similar to it in terms of the pieces and stuff.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
Chamber of Strategy. This could go very badly for us. Did we interact with anything? I suppose maybe we'd be moving some of these pieces. Journal of Past Adventures number 3. Vedder and Umglir are gone. Our hubris is evident. Elementals took us by surprise. There are still 3 of us. For now. So, are we saying that if we make some poor decisions here, maybe enemies will spawn? Possibly. So, there is a bit of a difference between maybe hovering over one of the white pieces versus the purple pieces. I guess this means we can move them around. Maybe some of these ones you can't. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case.
Better not be cursed.
Can't use it right now. Yeah, hovering over this one seems to also give us a different cursor. And then there are these 3 red gem-looking, or yeah, gem-looking things. 3 crests, maybe. So... can we move these around? Okay, yeah, so it's giving us some instructions there, I think. Let me bring everyone back this way. And we'll try our best. Kings move 1 tile in any direction. Okay. Queen, King. Okay, so perhaps maybe what the game wants us to do is to try and take out their king. It would sort of make sense, in my view. Yeah, and it's giving us the area that we can move in, which is kind of cool. And then I presume the pawns can only move, or can they attack diagonally, or invalid move? Pawns move 1 tile forward or 2 tiles if on their original position and capture diagonally. I don't really get that. Pawns move 1 tile forward or 2 tiles if on their original position and capture diagonally. Yeah, again, I'm definitely not into chess. I have no idea how any of this works. So, they can't even move backwards. Interesting. So you can move forwards. But then how do you capture stuff or, you know, take out an enemy? I guess maybe you would have to do that diagonally? I think so. That's as much as I also know about chess, so... Actually, hang on, I haven't interacted with the statue.
Prove your strategic wits. There is but one rule. The Dark King must fall in 2 moves. Are you a commander of armies, or a shivering pawn? Fodder for cleverer minds.
I'm afraid I have little experience with lance sport, let alone the command of soldiers.
In 2 moves, we have to defeat him. Okay, that's quite difficult then. So, assuming... Yeah, okay, so this is the movement of the bishop, but you can actually consume 1 move behind him. Bishops must move in straight diagonal lines. And can consume, I guess, whichever way he goes. Can't move this way because some of our pawns are in the way, I guess. And just trying to remember what the queens can do. Queens. Okay, so the queens can actually move in all sorts of crazy directions. So... I suppose I do need to protect my king as well, right? With the queen being so close. Or should I focus on the attack? If I bring my bishop in... they could potentially take that bishop out in this turn. Do we have a rook? No. They've got a rook. I don't really know how rooks operate, actually. So there's that. I wonder if we have multiple attempts. and we can redo stuff. Or, I mean, there's saves coming, but... Or I could use our bishop to just take out the queen, safeguard the king, and then try and deal with whatever's over here. Perhaps. I mean, here goes nothing, guys. What? What just happened? Why is the queen piece still there? Are we saying that's the wrong move? And we've used up one of our attempts? Quite possibly. Yeah, okay. It's just resetting. Okay. Seems a bit strange to me. Can I move this? Okay. I can... maybe just consume that. Okay. There you go. Managed to get there with one, I guess, attempt remaining. Or perhaps maybe that was our last attempt, actually. Good times. Let's go back. Couple more challenges to go. I think I'll start with this one.
Paintings hung on the wall, almost like an art gallery.
A true champion knows justice and eliminates those who stand in its way. Restore the balance of justice.
Justice. No pardon without repentance, and no penalty without mercy. The right path often lies between the extremes.
Thanks for your wise words, Will. I'll keep them in mind.
Wise indeed, though I can't take credit. It was my father who taught me the ways of the just.
Okay. Not sure what all of this is. Oh, by the way, while we're just figuring things out here, I did want to say that I spent a little bit of time just tidying up the quick bar, or sorry, hot bar for Shadowheart and Karlach. So hopefully it'll be easier for us to sort of choose the stuff that we need to do. Journal of Past Adventures number 2. I hadn't expected puzzles. Is the Great Worm really hidden behind tests of this kind? I'd expected feats of strength, yes, but nothing like this. Like it was designed for sport. So we've got all these paintings. or shrouded paintings. There are 3 of them. And then there's this waiting judgment. And all this stuff with the ominous looking smoke. What happens if we traverse into smoke?
The shadows are blocking me. I need to get rid of them somehow.
Okay, we can insert one of the paintings in here, I suppose. Then there are all the paintings. Let's maybe just take a look at them.
The apple. The painting depicts a red-haired man stealing a shiny apple from a cart in an open-air market. You know this market, the Wide, where Baldur's Gate citizens and visitors gather to conduct trade and wax political. The child. A red-haired man is portrayed with his cloak's hood lowered, giving an apple to a smiling urchin. Several other children are huddled behind the one receiving the apple, hands outstretched.
Okay, right. So I guess maybe all of these paintings are telling a continuous story.
The induction. A red-haired man is depicted in hushed conversation with a dark-haired woman. She wears a cloak with an unusual symbol on it, tally marks totaling the number 9.
And there are these writings over here which are glowing. I don't know if we really need to be concerned about that. Didn't really get any checks or anything like that about it either.
The theft. A red-haired man is depicted in the Hall of Wonders, thieving what looks to be a priceless artifact. It's an astrolabe of entrapment. It could hold a dozen djinn within it, perhaps even more.
A dozen djinn. Okay.
The chase. A red-haired man is depicted running through the city streets, a flaming fist officer chasing just behind. A cloaked woman, hair dark as a raven, looks on from a safe distance. The judgment. A stern judge, his pockets full of coin, orders a red-haired man to the gallows. A shiny apple rests on the ground nearby.
All right. Do I interact with this shade, the judge?
Away! Behold, the paintings tell the tale. My judgment is rendered. The thief earns his due.
Okay. So, with the story having been told, there is an imbalance of justice. We need to find the balance. Is it... So, maybe the judge here represents the judge that's in the last painting, and we need to show him reason. Or make him see reason.
The child of several other
I thought we could grab it, but I guess not.
The shadows are blocking me. I need to get rid of them somehow.
look closer?
The
No.
child, several
just-
other children.
Gives me the same interaction there. Alright, I am a little confused. And we have all of the same options.
The shadows are blocking me. I need to get rid of them somehow.
And then we need to insert something here. Awaiting judgment. I'm kind of scratching my head here on this one, guys. So if I can't grab the paintings themselves, what is it that I need to put into this slot then? I don't see anything else that we would need to pick up. Okay. Confusing. And the only idea that is going through my mind at the moment is I could grab an apple from camp and put it in here. I don't know if that's going to do anything because there seems to be an apple at the very last painting just sitting there. But I have a feeling that that's not really going to do anything for us, so I'm gonna want to come back to that one, I think. And instead, let's try and see if we can do this one instead. What we have here? Suelto, Amaps, and Stead. Apparently they are enemies? At least they're represented as enemies on the map. Chamber of Insight. Oh, look at that. Floating books. I would love to be able to read this book. Stead's Virtues of Unions. Oh! We use Sleight of Hand? Stead's Virtues of Unions. Virtues of Unions by Olwyn Stead. It is quite obvious that larger kingdoms offer benefits to all peoples within. As a kingdom grows, so does its fields, its populace, and its economy. A few charred corpses is a worthy sacrifice if a dragon offers to share its hoard after all. So too should you seek union. However imperfect, should a powerful kingdom march its army on your borders, some friction is inevitable. Of course, citizens' rights might erode, for instance, but such lesser issues will be sanded down by the march of time, such is the price of peace. Plenty of books here. Suelto's Ethic of War.
Hold still, will you? Hold still, will you? Hold still, will you?
Ethic of War. So how did we manage to steal that one but not be able to do that here? That seems a bit weird to me.
Hold still, will you?
Strange.
Sharp as ever.
Slippery little blighter.
What's cooking?
Oh, there we go.
Soldier.
Well done, Karlak.
Can't give up now.
The Ethic of War by Christina Suelto. My colleague Amaps proposes fair rules of engagement in times of war, and forgiveness upon victory. Are we to spare our enemies then, once they have fallen to our might? Are we to put all hatred behind us when surrender is offered? Indeed not. For what shall we do once our opponent gathers new armies and masses them once again along our borders? We shall wage another war, and count the lives snuffed out by our own magnanimity. Once an enemy kingdom is conquered, it must be razed to the ground. Only then can we be free of its specter. I don't know if I agree on that stance, but... Lessons for Sensible Living, Part 12, Zariel's Fall. The foreword to this brief account of Zariel's fall captures the tone of the entire text. Greetings, sensible folk. Already I can detect grumbling and the agitated rattle of pipe stem against teeth. A lesson dedicated to an Archduke of Avernus? Has Harrington taken leave of his senses? I think we've read this, to be fair. Yeah, I think so. Let's leave it. On Death and Resurrection, The Approachable East, Volume 3. I think we've seen this as well. The Gur. I think the Gur is the Monster Hunter tribe that we met in Rivington, right? Order of the Gauntlet on matters of law and justice. Good is the absence of evil. It means to seek peace and to enforce it. It means to seek depravity and to denounce it. And it means to trust in your gods and yourself, for the greatest good of all is called faith. Goodness is not lawfulness. Law is commandment of God and mortals, and of mortals. It is the call of authority and the sanction of its opponents. Law is the father of order. To renounce it is to invite chaos, in which there is neither meaning nor life. Law can be corrupted. Lawfulness is not goodness. I say to you then, that we seek not to be good or to be lawful, but to be just. For what is it to be good if we cannot define the acts that oppose it? What is it to be lawful if it is a devil's commands that we obey? Justice is the hand that feeds the hungry and the shield that guards the weak. It is the sword that fells the wicked and the cloak that warms the indignant. Indignant? Yeah. It is for justice that the Order of the Gauntlet stands watch, and it is justice that Tyr and Torm, Helm and Hor demand. Have we read about the Outer City before? Overland travelers nearing Baldur's Gate have been known to smell... Yeah, I think so. I remember that. No cause for alarm. An illustration of a burning city introduces this book's frenzied summary of Eltragard's recent history. People of the Sword Coast, there is no cause for alarm. You have no doubt heard of the harrowing events that befell the city of Eltrel, an entire city dispatched to the Hells. Perhaps you have also heard the deranged gossip and rumors that a similar cataclysmic atrocity may befall the city of Baldur's Gate. Have no fear. The so-called holy city of Eltrel has in fact long been a foul pit of devil worshippers. From the ruling classes to the common folk, the citizens were all touched by the infernal, whether it was in their blood from birth or they were seduced by its power. They were evil to their core. Eltrel invited its own doom. Baldur's Gate is far from perfect, but anyone who believes the rot runs as deep as in Eltrel is either mad or an Elterguardian propagandist. The Fist will defend the city with their very lives if they must, and I promise you that no infernal conspiracies infect the minds and souls of our noble dukes and patriarchs. A history of contempt. Have we already forgotten that before this latest madness, Eltrel was infested with the undead? Should we forget the aggressive expansion of Eltragard? They have never been our friends. Vigilance will protect us. Do not be alarmed. An eyewitness account of what? Though an official document, this appears to be one of many hastily produced copies documenting the night of Eltrel's descent into Avernus. I am acting Gauntlet Emir of the Flaming Fist. Repeat what you told my people for the room to hear. You should be helping. Aren't you supposed to help? First, I need to know what happened. It's gone. The city, the light, the companion. I was born in its glow. Never seen real darkness before. Get a grip on yourself, man. There was no sound to begin with. The sky flickered, dark, and then light again. Then, the companion changed, from gold to black. My farm's almost a half-day's ride from the city, but I could hear the screams. Thousands of people plunged into the darkness while the world went mad. And then, more lights, but dark lights. It makes no sense, I know. They came from the companion, wicked streaks stabbing into the city and tearing it apart. And the sky, the ground, the buildings, they all folded in on themselves, like an invisible hand were crushing them. And the city? There is no city. Eltrel is gone. When did this happen? Yesterday. I fled through the darkness until I found you. Lock him up. I've done nothing wrong. You've got to go and help them. He's the 11th we've picked up this morning. Make copies, deliver the transcript to every Flaming Fist post from here to the Risen Road by hand. Until we know exactly what's happening out there, nobody from Eltragard goes west. And don't talk to anyone outside the Fist about this. Maintain control.
On my way.
The 5-Year War, a diplomat's record. The 5-Year War by Torwin Bass. The war was, in truth, nothing short of a tragedy. It began as a mild interaction between the sanguine sons of the Aelio and Vida families regarding, if you can believe it, the proper ownership of a sheep farm. Over the course of 3 seasons, full-blown conflict had erupted between Baldur's Gate and Victon. A pointless war, leaving both cities with nothing but 1,000 youthful corpses to show for it. Nobles and their squabbles, I guess. To the good, godly folk of Faerun. A circular from the Church of Ogma, Lord of all knowledge. It is stamped with the seal of Brevik Fëanor, most high loremaster of the unrolling scroll temple in Baldur's Gate. to the good godly folk of Faerun. In the first instance, and in the name of the Lord Binder himself, let me bid you thanks. The realm-shaking events that have since become known as the Second Sundering marked a time of great confusion and upheaval. Gods fell and rose again. Lost continents reappeared, and the very weave shook as the plains birthed a new and yet mysterious order. Such chaos is often anathema to Ogma's sacred pursuit of truth and knowledge. However, with the help of the innumerable first-hand accounts submitted to our agents by good folk all across the continent, the Church is satisfied that an image of these strange years has begun to coalesce. As such, we would kindly ask that no further unsolicited material on this matter be sent to our temples. While all knowledge is of import to the Lord Binder, we are confident that any future plane-shaping events will not be presaged in the shape of tobacco smoke, or read in the droppings of the village herd. A new and strange age is upon us. For divine guidance, we humbly bid you look to your local temple leaders and to forward such relevant materials to them. Yours, ever seeking, Brevik Fainur, servant of Ogma. Okay, I wasn't expecting to need to read so much. There's another floating book over there, which we probably do want to try and grab. Question is, will all of us be able to do it?
Hold still, will you?
Slippery little blighter.
Come on! Won't hurt you on purpose.
Blasted little things slip in my grasp.
So I guess we can only pick up
Interesting times.
one of these per character. Seems kind of weird.
Never wanted the easy path.
The Screed of the Willing. Honestly, love, wrath, many traits are divine. There is only one that we possess, and the gods do not. Pain. Our most holy mistress invites us to revel in that which makes us mortal, to embrace pain, so she may look upon us and know we are truly living. For what is a life without the sting of agony, without the anguish of heartbreak? It is a life unlived, a life wasted, hiding from the joys of the world. In Leviathar's name, I ask you to live, to dig your nails into your skin and to know that you are alive, to know that the greater the pain, the more exalted the life. Whether your pain comes from claws, the scourge, or an ache in your soul, know that our maiden is watching over you. She sees your suffering and she loves you for it. Purged Palate, Midwinter Edition. A series of recipes accompanied by anecdotes about the meals in question. This is a twist on the traditional dwarven Eglach stew. Those non-dwarven who can't translate that, don't bother. No point frightening yourselves. Just make sure that once you've burned the alcohol away, do not add the drieder venom. Substitute it with some other sour, whatever agrees with your milky constitution. As to how I discovered this one, back during my watchman days, a drow thief I caught spiked my supper. The look on his face when I quaffed it down was near as good as the stew. Okay. Baldur founds a city. This text roots its subject on Baldur, a sailor of exquisite renown who founded the city of Baldur's Gate many years ago. The prose is colorful but a little too self-satisfied round the edges, and the novel would be unremarkable but for one small entry about halfway through. Balduran claimed a guardian and friend, Ansher, bright were Ansher's scales, and brighter still his breath. Yet after a betrayal too piercing to recount here in worthy detail, Ansher fled beneath the stone, thereby changing the name of the region he now slumbers under to match his draconic lineage. I wonder if it's going to be important for us to grab this memoir. If so, obviously we're going to want to try and get other people to join us to be able to grab the book. So I'm just going to give us the best chance here and replace all of our guys with other people.
Yes?
Just temporarily.
Flattered as I am, then let...
Well, hello. What can I do for you? Perhaps if you lost a... well...
Yeah, who would have good, like, chances of taking this thing? I don't know, maybe Lae'zel.
Is something... You're full up. Dismissed.
Okay, let's give this another go.
At your command.
Hey, there we go. First try. So let's throw that to blue.
Alright, what now?
Amaps's Memoirs. My life has been a long succession of pleasures to see my town take to my ideas and cease legal discrimination of local orcs, to see my fights against horrid living conditions in city factories take off, to have the chance to see a new generation take to these ideas of a better, kinder, fairer, intelligent world and run with it to new reaches of the continent. It was not a life without struggle, however, and I shall regret its failures. My old friend Suelto comes to mind, who adopted such cruel ideologies later in life. I will forever console myself in the idea that such a brilliant mind would only conceive such theories under a strain of exile, and the promise of reinstatement as she ultimately was. I wonder if we're going to need to make a decision when we eventually interact with these guys.
At the ready.
I can rock these guys, but Astarion kinda needs a level up though. You know what? I'm pretty comfortable with how we've set up the rest of the party so far, so let me just replace these guys once more.
Thought this place was just a legend. Tall tales just keep coming true.
She talking about Baldur's Gate, or?
You know I'm up for it, but your party's in the...
This place is astonishing. A bard's legend made real.
I think they're talking about this, this trial area that we're in.
I'd love to join, but I don't think there's enough space for me.
Did you want something? If not, I'm perfectly happy to just gaze upon you a while. A bit crowded, don't you think? Lead the way.
The solution's plain as the high moors in midsummer. Let's chat.
What? Wants to talk?
Always good to talk, my friend.
Will, you had a idea about the insight trial, yes?
Yes. Suelto's ethic of war would lead to endless conflict. No city could survive it. Suelto is the one you should strike.
So we need to attack someone. Is that what we're saying? And we haven't exactly interacted with any of these guys, but... When powerful forces attack, union is the most appropriate goal. Not if you're bowing down to a tyrant who's trying to expand. And then Suelto's ethics of war seems a bit brutal, you know. The whole idea about burning entire cities to the ground so that, you know, you're essentially just wiping them off the face of the world, and you know, they're only going to be in the history books. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, if I would have to choose one of these, it'd be AMAPs, but I guess maybe we just need to attack one of them. And I think I agree with Will. So Suelto... I mean, I disagree with Stead and Suelto. But if there's one that's worse than the other, it'd probably be Suelto's Ethics of War. So... yeah. Let's do a quick save.
Insightful decision. The tree of peace bore lasting fruit. Proceed.
Tree of peace bore lasting fruit. Okay. Now, we just have that one last trial, which I have no idea how to complete. Oh, hang on. Wait a second. So, there seems to be, like, some paintings that we can actually see, provided the shroud can be removed. How would we go ahead and do that, though? Let me try something here. Gust of wind? Perhaps maybe I can do it on all three. Okay, I can't seem to get all three. Just gonna see if I can bring all these guys together, and then... there we go. So let's try this. Nope. Shroud. Shrouded sentence. Shrouded. This painting is obscured while within 6 meters of the judge. Target cannot be moved by force. Oh, you can move these ones.
The shadows are blocking me. I need to get rid of them somehow. The shadows are blocking me. I need to get rid of them somehow.
No! The judge has spoken. The crime must be punished.
Immune to everything. I know that we just went back to camp to grab the people that we want to use, but I think this is where Gale might need to be with us. We might need to experiment with different types of spells.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Would that I could. But your entourage is full. You'll need to make room for magical.
Okay.
Yes?
So, Gale, what kind of options do we have?
Guarded by some malicious aura. Need to dispel it to get past.
Dispel it to get past. Dispel the aura. So, do we dispel the aura from the judge, perhaps? If we held monster, okay, can't target undead.
There is work to do.
Turn undead, maybe?
Let's try this way.
There we go. Alright. I didn't need Gale with us.
And these things have
Let's
stayed
take a look.
interesting.
Okay, so the story continues, then.
The hanging. A red-haired man is depicted hanging from a gallows as a crowd looks on. You notice a child in the crowd, a falling tear leaving a trail on his cheek.
The child from earlier who got the apple.
Freedom. A red-haired man walks the streets of Baldur's Gate, clad in a billowing cloak. You catch a glimpse of a sly smile beneath his hood, and a golden coin in his hand.
A thief walks free. Is this truly justice?
The cell. A stern prison guard slides a warm meal into the thief's cell. The red-haired man has a 10-day left to serve, judging by the scratchings on the wall behind him.
Okay. So, I think we can pick these ones up, right? My view is that if we're trying to be balanced here, I think a death sentence is going too far, and freeing the guy is also too far. So I think a prison sentence is appropriate. Yeah, okay. Man, That was a little bit confusing, to be fair. It's like looking at everything and I was like, I know I said like, maybe I could grab an apple for whatever reason. I thought that was significant, but anyway. We can all try and forget about that.
Should mind my step.
Alright, you banished the dishonorable... Oh, okay. You're a paragon of justice. Proceed.
No one back home will
Well,
ever
that's the
know
most
this.
important thing. We did it, guys. It took us a bit, but... now we just need to go in here and discover what's behind the doors. Just doing a quick save, and I reckon maybe this is a good place for a break, to be honest, guys. So, take a break here, and when we come back, if we do need to fight a dragon, or a worm, or whatever, well, so be it. Are we ready for one? Who knows? We might want to tuck Gale back and see if we can pick up Will again, but I'll do that in the next episode. Or, sorry, pick up Karlach, rather. Signing out here. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay true. I'll see you guys in the next one.